Hello everyone, welcome to the Survivor Savant podcast. I am your host Nathan Newport, the self-proclaimed Survivor Savant himself, and today we are going over the events that occurred in Survivor Marquesas, episode 4. The winds have changed, or twist. The winds have, I think changes a lot. No, I think it's the twist and wind, or the winds twist. Anyway, now you may be thinking to yourself, twist or changed how? Well, let me tell you, folks. So, in this episode, I'm going to do things a little bit different as I'm talking about this episode. Throughout it, I'm going to be featuring clips from the show that have happened. It's not going to show the entire episode entirely, but I will be explaining it with my words as I show some images, because I don't want to get copyrighted for anything that I'm gonna say while I'm talking. But with that said, let's get into this. So we started the episode off immediately after the tribal council from last episode where Hunter got voted out. It was the middle of the night. Amar, Amu, Rob, and Sean were starting to fire. And it's basically clear why, the reason why Hunter got voted out by any of the other castaways. Rob and Sean were getting tired of Hunter's leadership and were wanting to take control of the tribe. And now that they had the majority with Vesepia and Sarah, they were able to get Hunter out. And now they're probably going to take control of the camp over there, which is not looking good for Regina, because, you know, she actually thought at first that she was going to go home over Hunter, because they need the strength for the tribe in order to win future challenges. So out of two who was not in their alliance, it was either going to be Gina and Hunter, and it looked as though they were going to get rid of Gina over Hunter because of tribe strength. But it turns out that wasn't the case. And when she was asking Sarah why she voted for Hunter to go home instead of Gina, she was like, he felt like, somebody who I didn't see was going to be like a good person to get along with. Or the reason why I'm explaining this badly, because that's how she was explaining it badly. She didn't have a good reason why, and she voted for Hunter. She only voted for Hunter because Rob said vote for Hunter. You know, she is being controlled by Rob, and she doesn't realize it. Like, she has no clue what to do in this game whatsoever. She can't think for herself. She only does what Rob tells her to do. And Gina takes notice of that. And she thinks it's absolutely stupid that they got rid of somebody who could have been a bigger tribe strength in the future challenges. But nope. They voted because Rob and Sean told them to vote for him. And now, if they were to lose in our challenge again, Gina's definitely worried because she's going to be on the outs. And she could possibly end up going home in the future. Her tribal council, if they were to lose. So at this point, it's not looking good for Gina, and I for one can understand that. I mean, not that I've ever been in the bottom of an alliance, because hello, I haven't played Survivor yet. It's kind of it's really kind of a sign where you're starting to see, oh crap, I was left out of something and now I'm at the bottom of it while they have the majority numbers, and how in the world am I going to convince them to keep me over somebody else who probably doesn't deserve it any more than I do? Like, it does boggle in your mind how you can get them to trust you after that. I mean, especially when they have a tight 4 and out of 5, and you're the one odd person out of that 5. So you really have to see who you could really like connect socially with, if in order to like, I don't know, break yourself out of those lower numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was Gina, I know that Gina was probably like Hunter or co-captain or something and like that, so she would also be the one who's like not necessarily enforcing work on other people, but she was definitely somebody who definitely knew that there had to be things done. In order to do that, she would have to tell others what to do and what needs to get it done, how to do it, you know? And I know there would be some people who would be very offended or wouldn't take light of that. Two of those definitely are Sarah and Sean. Meanwhile, you got other people like Rob, who's very level-headed and he knows how the game works, so I don't know. I mean, he is the one who masterminded the vote to get Hunter out. So if you're planning on like trying to get somebody to vote with you, Hunter's definitely not gonna, I mean, Rob is definitely not gonna be somebody you can align yourself with. So I don't know. I feel like Vesepia though. Vesepia might be one who can, like, she's easy to get along with, and she's also level-headed. She doesn't take things personally. Like, she's not into that drama stuff, like she said in 2 previous episodes. So it's, no wait, last episode. She's not into all that drama. So I don't know. If I were to align myself with somebody who's very level-headed and knows how to, like, socially bond with others, Vesepia would be a good alliance partner to have. So if Gina were to make a good connection with V, then that would be 2. And I know that Vesepia's got a tight bond with Sean, and those two want to ride together or to the end of the game. Like, they want to stay close to each other till this game ends. And knowing Sean, who's also considered himself to be an alpha male, he wants to have control of things, and maybe taking out somebody who's also an alpha male like Rob could probably boost his level. It might also boost his ego and his cockiness, but, you know, at the same time, you can't help but feel like if this is the way in order for me to stay safe in this game, then that's what I would have to do. You know who your numbers are. Know who you can trust and who they trust. So that way you can form something together and really make yourself more developed, or at least put yourself at another level other than the bottom, is what I'm trying to say. So if Gina is able to like do that, then she could be able to get herself out of that rut if it were the case. If they ever got into tribal council, of course. But over at Road 2, while things may be a little bit more chaotic over at Mar Amu, Road 2 is by far definitely consider themselves the love tribe. You know, they're getting along well. They're cooking in coconut. Like, it's toasted coconut. Like, chop it up into little bits. This is the thing that John over on Road 2 found, that from after cooking some pieces of coconut, not cooking it completely, but there are some pieces that had like some char on it. He actually took a couple bites of it, and it was actually pretty good. So he thought, you know what, let's do some coconut popcorn. That's what he called it. He chopped the coconut into bits and just fed spoons to their tribe mates, and they're all loving it. Nice to see that form of unity going around in a tribe. And another reason why they've gotten along so well is because of like Pappy Pascal. You know, he's definitely somebody who's bringing all that harmony together. Or without Pascal, I'd say they wouldn't get along with each other if that were to be the case. Like, they've all gone extremely well with each other. Everyone respects one another, and everybody's they've shown that they've had great unity and love for one another and no disrespect towards each other. So because of that, that's one of the reasons why they've been able to win in a lot of the challenges in the past, is because they're so unified together and they have no beef, they have no quarrels with each other. You know, they've ultimately just got along with their hard work and their tribe unity, which is exactly what Survivor has to do in this game. These people have to come together as one and be able to win the challenges and enduring camp life together. If you're ever expecting yourself to get further in this game, that's all you gotta do. And Row 2 seemed like the tribe that was gonna do it pretty well. Then we got Tree Mail. Both tribes were informed that at this challenge, it would require maybe some bit of rewarding for others, while it will be some for people who might not enjoy the missing out on reward. So we arrive at the area where Jeff is. It's nearby a tribal council, I believe. And all the tribes are staying there together, and Jeff informs them this is going to be a little different. He's going to ask each of the tribe members to choose one stone on the course to stand on. And then the moment everybody's standing on their stone, Jeff is like, he goes over to one contestant and he asks them, I think it was Zoe. Zoe, he flipped over her stone and she saw a blue buff for Row 2. And everybody was like, what's going on? Why is this happening? Then Gina flipped over her stone. She got a yellow buff. And then it was Gabe, I believe, who flipped over the next stone. He got a blue buff. And then I believe it was Sepia who was next. And no, wait. I think it was John. John was next, and he flipped over blue buff. Then it was Vesipia, and she got a blue buff. Vesipia is no longer Maramu, and she's now Row 2 now. So yes, this is the second tribe swap to ever happen in Survivor. The first one we had last season, it caught everybody off guard when 3 people from one tribe now switched over to the other tribe. And the same on the other. So it was really interesting, and it really caught people off guard. You know, some got to go over to a new camp, while some got to stay at their old camp. In this case, it was like this. So, just to be clear, just because the tribe swap happened, the numbers didn't change. They were still the same. It was still 8 on Row 2 and 5 on Maramu, but this time the numbers were different. So for Maramu, we have Pascal, we have Nalia, we have Gina, we had Sarah, and then we got Kathy. For Row 2, now it's Tammy, it's Zoe, it's General, it's John, it's Gabriel, it's Boston Rob, it's Sean, and it's Vesipia. So the tribe mix-up this season is really, really different now. You know, Maramu is still down in numbers. However, they've also kind of gone down in numbers when 3 former Row 2 now joined the new Maramu, leaving 2 people on the outside with Sarah and Gina. So they're in trouble. And Row 2 still has the majority, because you know why? They have 5 Row 2 members over on the new Row 2 tribe, while they have 3 Maramus with Vesipia, Boston Rob, and Sean. And I don't know, it just doesn't seem to be going good for Maramu at this point. Like, the bad luck for him just continues because of the not just the fact that they've lost the challenges, but also because of the tribe swap. It's just doesn't seem like it's going well for them. But hey, I will say this. Even if one of these tribes do lose, at least we can say that a Rotu person got to go to tribal council before it merged. At least we got to see that. So both tribes are told to head back to their camps, and then they'll have to be ready for their next immunity challenge, which will happen in a couple of days. So Maramu, who takes each other back to their camp, introducing the new members, taking them on a grand tour of their camp. The beach is more luscious, it's more green, compared to Rotu, which is all sand and rocks, and yeah, they got the waterfall on the back on a Rotu, but for their watering hole, it was just like a rock creek of just rocks with a little bit of water underneath one of the rocks. And the only way they cover the water is with the leaf. But Nalia and Pascal will kind of say that that this camp is like a 4-star resort compared to the Rotu's camp, because they got fruit, and you know, the scenery is just beautiful. I will say the scenery is beautiful because of the green and the trees, and I mean, they're still down in numbers, and the watering hole is not that great compared to Rotu's, but at the same time, you can't help but feel like, even Nalia admits that she would have much rather gone over to this camp than back at the Rotu camp. She admits to it. Then meanwhile, actually, before I switch over to Rotu, I will point out some things happened during Maramu. So, the tribe members are getting to talk to each other about their careers and what they do back at home, where they're from. And Gina and Kathy actually bonded over being environmental engineers, or one of them studying to be an environmental engineer, while the other is actually in that kind of field. And you know, it's kind of nice to see two people from different tribes bond together over something they have in common. It's really good to see. And Sarah catches notice of this and figures that, hey, if they're the only two actual Maramu people on the bottom, and they need a third to, like, bring over to their side, maybe Kathy could be that key, you know? So that way both Sarah and Gina don't have to go, if they go to tribal council. Who knows? Maybe this might be something working out for them if it goes well. Then we go to the next day on Maramu, where they decide to go on this hike. Four of them decided to go on the hike. Kathy, Gina, Pascal, and Nalia go on the hike. Meanwhile, Sarah stays behind at the camp and just catches her Z's, and I'm like, girl, can you even prove us why you're so good to keep around at the camp? Like, what have you done since then? I mean, we haven't seen you perform well in the challenges. We haven't seen you, like, I mean, you might have weaved some palm fronds and told us how to, like, properly put them on the shelter, or at least told us how they should be probably put on the shelter. But what have you done since then, other than be Boston Rob's second vote? Like, and even when they were getting water from the watering hole, they were all getting the water, and Sarah was just saying bye, watching them getting eaten by the no-nos, and heads back because she didn't like getting eaten by the bugs. And Gina takes notice of this, and she definitely feels as though that Sarah is kind of on the outs, and I don't know, Gina definitely feels like she has more of she's definitely found more at home with Nalia, Kathy, and Pascal than she did and the old Maramu people were here. Does she miss them? And is she worried that they're going to get voted out first because they are lesser in the numbers? No. Does she wish they have them back? No. Like, she hopes that they get voted out. Like, she has not trusted them. She has not had a good connection with them since they started this game. And after the way they've well, they didn't treat her badly, but, you know, she got left out to vote with Hunter. And, you know, she definitely feels as though, oh, it's rightfully deserved for the three of them if they do go to tribal council and if they do get voted off. You know, karma might be coming to them if it does happen. Meanwhile, over on Road 2, Sean, Rob, and Vesepia are introduced to their camp, and it's immediately seen that the Road 2 people are workaholics compared to Maramu, who some members have been lazy at their camp. You know, Vesepia is giving her best shot at working at the Road 2 people, so that way she's not being seen as somebody you need to get rid of, which I can honestly say is good. You don't want to be seen as somebody who's a liability, and the only way to do that is to do some work. I don't want to be like a total workaholic like the Road 2 people, but at the same time, I will do my share of the work when I'm being asked to do it. Like, I will do it. And Boston Rob takes notice of this, and he goes over his critique about the Road 2 people on his tribe, and while also kind of making fun of them. He first started with Gabriel, who's a bit of a brainiac and considers himself to be really smart. He then talks about John, who he thinks is queer, and you know, he acts all tough, but rough and tough, and I don't know. He says that he's not gonna sleep with him on the first night anyway. Then he goes over to the general, Robert. He thinks he's a good guy, and he's big and strong, and he says the most discriminating thing by saying that he's got a tiny... Yeah, I'm bleeping that out. It wasn't a cuss word, but it was an innuendo. Just being real here. I hate to be dirty. I don't want to be dirty on this podcast. But that was his exact quote word. Rob, you got me saying dirty stuff I don't want to say. I will say this, though. I would much rather take that than other cuss words. Anyway. Then he goes over to Tammy, who's engaged, so there's nothing to work with there. Then Zoe, who's a fishing boat captain. You know, she's probably one of the tough guys. One of the toughest guys over on Road 2. So he realizes that he can't joke around with these people anymore. He's got to be really serious, and you know, he can't be seen as somebody who doesn't like to fool around with anyone. Otherwise, he's probably most at risk of going home. But as I'm saying this, I see that both Sean and Rob are just laying around at a camp, not really pulling their weight and just sitting, and Tammy's bringing the popcorn, the coconut popcorn to them, to feed them like they were her like she was their slave or something. I'm just like, if you're not gonna do anything, you're gonna get voted out quick. Tammy notices this, and she definitely says that I'll keep feeding you, but if you don't do any work, you're next to go. As she tells us in the confessional. And Sean notices that these people are workaholics. They don't take breaks. They're not doing anything fun. Like, and he doesn't want to like kiss butt in order to get by. Like, he's not going to do that. Like, he doesn't want to work. He's not wanting to be their slave and just do work and he's not here for that. And I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. There's something backwards going on here. You don't want to be their slave, but you're willing to just sit around all day and have them bring food to you? This is backwards. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm racist here, but at the same time, like if it was back then, and this would be backwards, but oh, this is crazy. I just can't believe what I'm hearing right now. Like, he's telling Gabe this, and I'm like, what do I say? And then, of course, you got Vesepi on the side here who's watching this, and Rob's talking to Vesepi, asking what's her plan, or how things that Sean said affecting her. And she just mainly says that she's not here for the drama, you know. She's gonna keep her mouth shut on things and just like she's willing to work with Sean, but as long as there's drama going on, she's staying far away from it as possible in order to get further in this game, which I can agree with. The less drama I can be involved in and keep myself away from, the better. Like, don't bring me any of that drama. Like, let me just play the game how I want to play it and not be affected by you. So it's quickly seen that Road 2 Camp's probably not going to be the love camp anymore because of the new arrivals with Vesepi, Sean, and Boston Rob. It's no longer going to be a love camp, and they're going to have to work how to get along with each other in order to stay in this game further. Which we do see in this immunity challenge. This immunity challenge is called Life's a Tapestry. And the challenge is exactly how it follows. So, here's how it works. They're given this image that they have to replicate. And the only way to replicate it is by moving and pulling this woven tapestry. And once they wove it, the marks that they have that correctly matches the image, they win the immunity challenge. Now, I'm not gonna lie, watching this challenge as it plays, I'm like, this is actually really creative, and I'm surprised it's not actually being used in the current Survivor challenges. Like, this would... Okay, Jeff, I don't know if you're listening right now, which I'm kind of hoping you are, but this challenge right here, the Tapestry Challenge, I feel like this is a challenge that deserves to come back. I mean, you have to modernize it in some way in order for it to make it challenging and harder for the castaways, but at the same time, I don't know, if you can somehow bring this challenge back and make it in a way that make it more fun and interesting for the castaways to play it as they figure out this puzzle. I don't know, I feel like this would be a great, interesting challenge that deserves a comeback, just like When It Rains It Pours. I mean, everybody loves it when they get to see that challenge. So I don't know. I guess this challenge deserves a try too. But anyway, So as the challenge starts, I mean, of course, Row 2 had some people out in order to do the challenge. But as this challenge is going on, the way this challenge is going, it's like day and night between the two tribes. Row 2 is working well together. Gabe is leading them, telling which tapestry to move in order to get into the right spot. Meanwhile, you got Kathy and I think it might have been Sarah, who were not necessarily, who were not necessarily bickering, but they were definitely conflicted towards which way to move it and which spot was the correct spot in order to make the image exactly look like how it should look. Like I said, it's okay. Put a counter over here for how many times I say like, because it's absolutely what I said when I say it's day and night between these two tribes. So with that being said, Row 2, despite the new changes and the moments where they didn't seem like they would get along, get the challenge done, and were able to complete this challenge. And for once, 3 of the former Marahamos get to experience what it's like to win immunity. All because of the switch up. Now, unfortunately, with a win comes a loss, and unfortunately, Maraamu, even with new tribe members to help, they have to vote somebody out of tribal council. So, it's not looking so good for them. Now, there have been talks amongst some of the people on who they want to get rid of. I mean, particularly normally with the 3 Row 2s, because they're sparred for choice who they want to get rid of. It's either Sarah or Gina from Maraamu, just because they're on the wrong side of the numbers. However, Kathy has been somebody who's really been getting along well with Gina, so I don't think she wants to get rid of her. So that would be a no-go, and the only choice they would have left to keep Gina is they got rid of Sarah. And truly, Sarah has been no help ever since she's been here. Like, she's not been really competing as much as we want her to. She's not really motivating anybody. She's not really helping out in the challenges or really helping out in camp life all that much. She's just been, how do I put this lightly? She's been a drag, pretty much, basically, in this camp, in this game. And I think Sarah's not been getting all Kathy a lot. She's very bossy. She's definitely rubbed her the wrong way because of her abrasiveness, or not abrasiveness, but she's just kind of got this weird charm about her, and that's just very off-putting to Sarah. So she thinks that getting rid of her maybe might give her best chance of moving forward. We get the tribal council, and we know that Sarah votes for Kathy because she felt like, hey, without her, maybe they might have a chance. But with Sarah having one vote against Kathy, that just leaves 1, 2, 3, 4 votes against Sarah. Sarah is voted out. She is the 4th person voted out on Survivor Marquesas. Still, down in numbers, Maraamu are, and it's, this is probably the low, okay, I've looked this up. This is probably the lowest amount of numbers we've seen in 2 starting tribes before the merge. Like, normally, before they merge, both tribes would have just about, like, 5 members left on both tribes. But this is different. Like, it's still the 4th episode. And we got only 4 members left on one tribe. Meanwhile, Row 2 still have all 8. Like, what is going on here? Is it going to continue like this? And will, if Maraamu keeps losing, will it be down to like 2 players left if they go over like 3 tribal councils in a row? Or will they strike luck somewhere and they'll be able to get Row 2 who to vote someone out? Who knows? That will only have to be determined in the next episode. So thank you guys so much for watching this. Alright, so the Switch, it's catching people off guard. Maraamu, the former Maraamus are still at a low point because they only have the lowest numbers left. With Sarah voted out, there just leaves 1 Maraamu left on Maraamu. Gina is the last Maraamu left on the Maraamu tribe. Meanwhile, you got the Sepia, Boston Rob, and Sean, who are the only Maraamus left on Row 2. And it doesn't look like they got a good shot of making it far if the Row 2s are united to get them out. Like, yes, add that one and more like up to that counter. So something's got to turn around for these people. It has to. Otherwise, this game could completely just be flushed out. We'll have another Paganging, or should I say, Maraamuing? I really sold that one, didn't I? But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed being outsmarted, out of class, and outspoken with the Survivor Savant podcast. This is Nathan Newport signing out. See ya.